Hello and welcome to Level Die Neo. Today we're going to talk about a video game idea I have for Captain Falcon. I'm joined by my good friend Mike, and he's sort of our expert on Captain Falcon. Well, not Captain Falcon, but you played F-Zero, right?
I've played a couple games. I'm not an expert, but I've played them.
Did you play GX?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me hold on. Oh yeah, I guess it did. I was gonna try and overwrite that. Oh well. Here we go. Jesus Christ. So tell me what you know about the story of like the Captain Falcon video games, because I've never played them. I played F-Zero on the NES when we were in engineering, and that's about it.
Yeah, so I believe, and I'm probably totally wrong about this, but the first game was on the SNES, and it was, just F-Zero, and I think it was pretty popular. It was a pretty high seller, and they made a new game, F-Zero X, for the N64, also pretty popular. Mm-hmm. Then they made maybe one or two Game Boy games, and then they made F-Zero GX, which is, probably considered to be the best one.
Yeah, the definitive one.
Yeah, the definitive one has the best gameplay, a ton of characters, the story mode, and then they made one more also for the Game Boy after that, and that's basically been the end of the series since then. So Captain Falcon hasn't gotten a new game in about 10 years.
That's fucking brutal, because his aesthetic is so cool
that
I wish that he would have more video games. I mean, more anything, really. So he's a bounty hunter, correct?
Yeah.
So what's the story? I mean, why does he enter the races?
There really is no story. Even the story mode for GX is, basic cookie cutter thing, where it's like, oh, Captain Falcon's training for the Grand Prix. Oh, Captain Falcon went into this area, and now this guy is challenging him to a race. Then Captain Falcon's trying to save somebody at a nuclear power plant.
And it's a race. Okay.
Yeah, and every single one's a race. Some of them are combat based, but yeah.
Okay. So this dude with way more viewers than me and a better YouTube channel, he came out with this idea of a combat and racing, sort of like a full package F-Zero game or a Captain Falcon game. And I have been talking about this. I mean, you know this. I've been talking about this game for 5 years. I've just been bullshitting about it because I think it's it could be really, really cool.
Yeah, since this is a Neo and it's less serious, let's go into that. So the first time I remember you bringing this up was in sculpture class in high school. Really? Yeah, because we were doing the clay bus project.
Yeah,
and you were making Big Boss because you're in prime time MGS5 hype mode at that point.
I was on the train, dude. Hard.
Yeah, and if you listen to the MGS5 podcast, you know where that led to. But so
yeah, This is coming out before MGS5. So
get ready for that.
Get ready for that.
But I decided to do Captain Falcon, and I didn't do it just because I really wanted to do Captain Falcon, but because of the grading process for the clay bust that we had to do. Our teacher was grading on eye features, nose, ears, hair, all that stuff. And so I was like, if I pick a character that you don't know his face, I cannot get a bad grade on it.
Yeah.
So I picked Captain Falcon because I really only had to get his nose and his mouth down and his cheekbones.
Oh, and your bust looks sick. Do you still have that bust?
It's sitting in my room right now. I'm looking at it, and the half of the Falcon emblem is still karate chopped off. I haven't glued that back on.
Dude, you gotta you gotta send me a picture of that. I'll make it the picture for this one when I get to Instagram.
All right, I will.
All right,
but
so I brought it up in sculpture class. I totally don't remember that at all.
Yeah, so I was making Captain Falcon, then I remember you brought it up yo, Mike, wouldn't it be really cool if Captain Falcon was basically inserted into God Hand and you just played as Captain Falcon? And I was like, yeah, that is pretty cool. And then we talked about it for 20 minutes, and I was like, Nick, if I come into contact with $1 billion, I'll just give you a blank check to make the best game ever.
Yeah.
and give you full creative control, and then
Yeah,
basically
dog.
go from there.
Shit, and then I've talked about it at least once a year since then because I get in cycles and I really think that this game could be sick. And I wake up in the morning some mornings and I'm just like, you know what? I thought of a sweet new fucking detail for this Captain Falcon game that's never going to happen. So I've been really wanting to talk about it. So the bounty hunter bit about Captain Falcon's history lends itself extremely well to an action game. Like,
and the fact that he's like basically more well known as a Smash Bros. Character now than like an actual racing character.
Right. So he is like, I main him. I mean, I love playing as Captain Falcon in Smash. He's awesome. He's my favorite character. He's got like that "show me your moves" taunt, which I fucking love.
Stylish character.
He's fucking awesome, and he's got like the pink outfit and stuff. Great. Pink Captain Falcon, best Captain Falcon.
Breast cancer awareness Falcon.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, I wake up some nights or some mornings, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude, this could be the best fucking game ever made. So, like I was saying, he is a bounty hunter, which lends itself extremely well to a level-based action game. So similar to God Hand or Devil May Cry, whichever one you're used to, it has a mission structure. You go from one mission to the next mission. Maybe have a hub world where you take on your missions, but I don't know. That would just be kind of like to run around. I was thinking more like there's like a map for each planet. So, okay. So it takes place like kind of in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't know shit about Captain Falcon. I don't know a fucking thing. So I like the aesthetic and I like this idea that I have. So I was thinking the game would take place over 5 different planets, and those planets give you the ability to have different level design. So one can be sort of like a cowboy western, sort of dusty, sandy, dirty area, where everyone's just like, oh, they talk like cowboys, and it's just fun.
And that's an actual area in like the second story in GX too, so that would work really well.
Well, bada bing, bada boom. I didn't even know that. So. See what I'm saying? You could do a metrop. Okay. Let me just. Sorry about that. My chair fell. So you could do like a metropolis planet. You could do a cowboy planet. I was honestly thinking like an underwater planet would be cool. It takes place in some sort of like Atlantis underwater thing, and you're like
an entire water type world.
Yeah, but like you're like underwater in like an underwater civilization. Okay. Thought that would be cool. Yeah. So you can like it's like pretty closed off, but like you see outside like windows and you see like fish and stuff swimming around. Mm-hmm. You could do
like a volcano world.
Oh yeah, volcano world would be cool. And then probably like a swamp world. Every game has a swamp world, right? Like it's the shittiest one. So you probably do that like level 2.
The one that nobody likes.
Yeah. But you gotta have one that nobody likes, obviously. So each planet can lend you. So you would have enemy archetypes. So they wouldn't be like reskins, but they'd be similar. To each planet has different styles of characters because it's a different world. So you can have like in the cowboy dirty one, you can have like gun wielding enemies that like shoot at you from a distance, and that'd be like the first time you introduce that. So then you have to like dodge your way up to them, fight them, beat them up, get their gun away from them, and then you kick their ass basically. Swamp one, it could be like frog people or something, because I actually watched like some gameplay of GX the racing. And I saw that like there's like a lot of cool, creative enemy characters. Like the faces that you see on the ladder as you're racing, they look really cool. Like the character designs for Captain Falcon are already like pretty out there. So it lends itself well to having like really different enemy types that you can beat up. So. Most people are familiar, since Captain Falcon has never been in an action game. What I've done is I've tried to think about the way that he plays in Smash Bros. And port some of the things that he does and some of the way that he plays into a 3D third-person action game. So here's how we break this down. So God Hand has a combat system where you every face button. So let's use a PlayStation because that's easier to remember for everybody. It's easy. Everyone knows what a PlayStation controller looks like. I know it wouldn't be on PlayStation, but I always get the A, B, X, Y mixed up on Nintendo controllers
I do too.
because I'm so used to Xbox. I think they're just like swapped. So we're not going to do that. So let's do PlayStation controller. So on God Hand, you have square, and you have that is where you put all of your moves. You have square, 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 all the way up to 5 consecutive square presses. And that'll give you a combo of up to 5 moves. And then you have triangle, which lets you do forward triangle, back triangle, tap triangle. And that's all God Hand has. And I'm like, okay, this could be improved upon. If there was ever a God Hand 2, they should use this system too. And you can tell me how you feel about this system. But what I thought of is this sort of combat, what did I call it? Like some sort of flow system. Combo flow or something like that. So in the Captain Falcon game, you would have individual punches and kicks. So it would be, you have a high kick, and you have a left jab, and you have a right punch, and you have, like a knee kick, things like that. So individual moves. And you can slot those individual punches and kicks into the buttons, square and triangle. And when you begin the game, you have 3 of each. You have 3 squares, 3 triangles. So, and we would give you, when you play the game, we would give you a default loadout. So square would be punches and triangles would be kicks. So that's pretty easy to understand. You have punches and kicks. And then circle would be your special moves, heat moves, which we'll get into heat moves in a second. And then X, I believe, would make you jump and side dash and shit. So this is how the combat system would work in Captain Falcon. And the game would be called Captain Falcon. It wouldn't be called F-Zero. It would be called fucking Captain Falcon because...
Not that meme picture that gets posted on 4chan, Falcon Hand.
Yeah, Falcon Hand. Yeah, Falcon Punch. Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, we'll get into the Falcon Punch too in a minute once I start breaking down all the different bars and shit that you have in this game. So this is how the combat would work. Say you're fighting an enemy. If you press square, 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 you will do the combo that's on your 3 square combo list. You do left jab, or it would be like, let's see, left jab, right straight, left hook. So that flows pretty good, and then if you just keep mashing square, after it hits the 3rd one, it restarts. So it would be jab, straight hook, jab, straight hook, jab, straight hook. Now, if you do the kicks, if you press triangle, you have low kick, mid kick, high kick. Let's just call it that. If you mash triangle 3 times, low, mid, high, low, mid, high, low, mid, high, every time. So this is where the combat system gets exciting. If you press square once, triangle, then square again, it would do the left jab, mid kick, and then left hook. So it's a way for you to have tons of combo depth in a very simple way. So it lets you, if you say you want to get to your high kick and you don't want to do any more kicks, you can just do punch, and then press triangle, and it jumps to the 3rd press of that combo string. So it's a way for you to jump around. Then if you press square again, you go to the 4th square button. So that you can sort of, that's like fuck tons of combos. I mean, that is so many combos. If you create a system like that, I mean, you can just make that's like 100 combos. If you have just 3 and 3 and you can mix and match them a bunch of ways, that's like 20 different combos right there. And then
correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like you memorizing combos, it's you're creating your own combos.
Yeah, it's not. So, let's say like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat's a good example. There's a certain string that you have to input, and it will do that combo. In this game, you buy individual moves, a left jab, a right jab, a left hook, and you slot those into any place in your combos, in your square and triangles. and it lets you create custom combos. And there's no like forward or backward inputs. It's just mash square, mash triangle, and it will do the combo that you set up for it. But the depth comes from being able to insert your second kick into a punch string when you need to like get a kick in for like a little bit. Like, you know, kicks do more damage, but they're slower. So like you do like punch, and then you do the high kick and you get like a really good finisher. Or you can do like kick, and then he's about to hit you. So you do like a counter punch hook that like can stun him or something. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to flesh out and make your own combos and have a lot of combos to swim off of. And as you level up, because you're going to level up, every game has leveling up. It's just the way it goes. You fight enemies, you gain XP, and you can use that XP to purchase more slots for your combos. So like one more square, one more triangle, one more square, one more triangle. I would do up to 5. So 5 each. So that's 10 total things that you can swim with inputting certain moves. Then you unlock there's I would just say there's 200, 300 different individual attacks. There's variations on low kicks, sweeps, uppercuts, punches, dashes, just hop kicks, axe kicks, double punches, like a little triple punch combo, something like that on an individual button. So you could have your fourth square be just a triple punch in one press, and he'll just do 3 punches real quick. And then that could be a great finisher, or you can just skip that and go to a kick or something. Then you have directional inputs, I would say, for triangle and square. So you can do forward square, backward square, forward backward, or forward square, and then back forward square. So that gives you even more options to slot specific moves. So if you want to have a move that does a guard break, you can slot that into forward square. And then forward square, every time you do forward and square at the same time, it'll do the guard break move if they're guarding. And then you shatter their guard, and then you can just go into your combo and start wrecking them. And then you have those same things. Go ahead.
Makes sense. Go ahead.
Okay. So then you have those exact same things for triangle, and you would unlock those as you go throughout the games, because you don't want to overwhelm the player. You want to give them enough. It's you can give them a forward square and a forward triangle, and that'll be, to start. So you have a forward square, forward triangle, and you have 3 each of square and triangle.
Yeah.
And that's
you want
to plenty of moves.
You want to make it so they're gradually unlocking stuff. I know this is off topic, but in a game that I played, Resonance of Fate, they give you the entire combat system right off the bat. So yeah. It's once you're 10 hours in, you're kind of bored because you can't really do anything new.
Yeah. And Resonance of Fate is a fucking great game. I wish they would make a sequel. We're going to have to talk. I'm going to have to beat that, and we're going to have to talk about it on a fucking episode. That game's fucking great. So, yeah. So if you give them the entire combat system all at once, it can lead to people becoming. It becomes stale, is what I'm trying to say.
They just find their combo in the first 10 minutes, and they just keep doing that for the entire game.
Exactly. So if you gradually unlock moves as you beat levels, or you can find special moves in maps, or when you beat a boss, it'll unlock 20 moves for you to buy, and then you can test them out before you buy them, so you can slot in moves in your combo in a trial arena, and you're oh, that works really, really, really good. So I'm going to put that in. So, okay, we've gone over that. We've gone over 2 buttons, and it's been 18 minutes. So we're going to go into the heat bar and circle. So,
actually, can we stop real quick? I have to do one thing.
Yeah, let me pause. Oh, yeah, okay, so the heat bar. This is, so if I were to give you an overview of what the HUD of this game looks like, it would be a health bar, the heat bar, and these little pips that build up as you build up your heat bar. And we'll get into all that right now. So, the heat bar. When you play as Captain Falcon in Smash Bros, he's got Falcon Kick, and he does the slide fire kick, and he's got all these really cool fire moves that he does that aren't his Falcon Punch, but they're also not his basic combos. They're not his normal buttons. You know, he's got like his air down kick. He's got
Special moves.
Yeah, there is his special moves. But he has like his air red hot kick. He's got his slide kick. He's got that stuff. So in this game, we would call moves like that heat moves. So heat moves essentially are a resource that you have that you can use to deal more damage and just style. I don't know, it's just fun. Heat moves, they're cool. So they have like circle, forward, back. I mean, they're just like moves that you can use at any time using the circle button. But you have to have heat in your heat bar. So the way that you build up your heat bar is by landing attacks and dodging enemy attacks. So it's basically a style meter from Devil May Cry, but where there isn't like an actual like style ranking. Basically, as you perform well, you fill up your heat bar. And you can utilize your heat bar in your heat moves that are mapped to circle, and they give you like launchers or like the red hot kick that he's got, slide kicks, sweeps, like really strong moves that can help you out like in a bind or to help you deal like just that extra bit of damage, do some like palm strikes, stuff like that. Just some really cool extra moves that you can get. And so if you land a heat move, you get back some of the heat that you used for that move. So it emphasizes you using them. We don't want it to be, I don't know why I say we. I don't want it to be this like, oh, I don't want to use my heat moves because of the next thing I'm about to tell you.
Trying to save them for a boss fight or something.
Yeah, so this is what happens. As you perform well, and you're going to, it's a kid's game. It's going to be like rated E10 probably because there's no cussing, no nudity, no alcohol or drug use.
Just violence.
It's just comedy, violence, and maybe like some dirty jokes here and there, like innuendo, stuff like that. Like Shrek. I mean, Shrek is PG, and they have so many jokes that go over kids' heads. It was like things like that, So it's a kid's game. There's no blood. It's just cartoon violence, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. I'm not gonna make it some mature M-rated. Fuck you, I'm Captain Falcon, bitch. Fuck you. No, it's a fucking kids game. So. Heat moves. So as you perform your basic combos or your guard breaks and you're performing well, you'll build up your heat. And you can expend the heat to do sweet moves. Now, if you max out your heat bar, which is just this little bar that fills up pretty quick, you unlock the ability to do the Falcon Punch. Okay? And what the Falcon Punch does is it does like, I would just say, because we don't want it to be used on bosses. It just doesn't work that way. But let's say it does 5,000 damage. Okay? So if you fill your heat bar by being really good, you press, let's say, I think I thought about it as right trigger. So you'd press right trigger, and he would just like, it would go slow-mo, it would zoom in on you, and he'd like,
charge up
his fist back, and he would go Falcon, and it would slow down, and then you can like target an enemy or like so you would target an enemy. And the thing is it has like a radius, so if there's like two enemies like directly next to that enemy, you're gonna punch them too. It's not just you punch one enemy. I want to make it fucking fun to use, so you go Falcon, and then you have like a time that you can sort of select the enemy you want to hit, and then you like press it again or you release it. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. And then he just goes punch, and he just fucking launches any enemies that it hits out of the just bing. They just disappear
into space
because it does 5,000 damage, and most enemies do not have that amount of health. So I'm just saying like 5,000 because it's a lot. So most enemies have like 200 health. So it's always a guaranteed kill on any enemy that's like a mob enemy, basically. Because you want it to be like, oh, I got my Falcon Punch. I'm gonna use it right now. Bam!
And you make it rewarding to use.
What?
You need to make it rewarding to use. So, like, you see 5 enemies you don't want to deal with, and they're right next to each other, just punch them out into space.
Yeah, and if you have one docked, you can just walk into that fight, Falcon, and just punch them, all of them, gone. fucking the fight's over, and you just keep moving, because you're just like, yes. So that is super fucking fun to me. That just sounds fucking great. On bosses, it would be like a good chunk of damage, because bosses are a lot more difficult. You're probably going to get hit more. You're going to have to be smarter. They're going to make you work for your Falcon punches. But I mean, I want you to be able to Falcon punch the shit out of enemies, like bosses, because it's just fun. Or like maybe, oh fuck, I just thought of this. Like last boss, right? You're like, he's hella close to being, because this is me, right? This is what I would do. I'm on the final boss of the game. I built up a Falcon Punch, and I want to beat the boss with a Falcon Punch, right? I haven't used it yet because I wanted to finish it, like the fight with it.
Yeah.
You fucking throw the Falcon Punch, he just fucking grabs it, and you can't use it. And he just goes, not me. And you just like, and then you're just like, oh shit. You like freak out because it's the only enemy in the entire game that like takes away the ability to do the Falcon Punch. Oh my god,
that'd be pretty good.
Sick. But then you can use it like again, and maybe he'll like dodge it, or
if you like stun him or something.
If you stun him, it's not free. But if you get him into a combo and then you immediately do it, you can get like the damage on him. But like if you just raw do one, he'll just catch it and just be like, not me. And you're just like, oh, dude, I would freak the fuck out if that happened to me. Like I would fucking lose my mind because I've Falcon punched every boss up to this point. Like the one boss is the final boss. So good, dude. That's fucking.
Because then you try to use it, like the developers thought of that, so they intentionally put that in there just to freak you out.
Yeah, just to like also make it like just super hype. Like, oh my god, he's so strong. He caught the most powerful attack in the game. So as you progress through the game, you can also spend your experience on upgrading your heat bar. And what it would do is it would divide your heat bar into segments, so the heat bar would stay the same size. But what happens is it makes it so that you have to build up less heat to get a Falcon Punch ready. So it would cut it into, it takes 75%, and then if you fill the whole bar, you'll have, or like it'll cut it into halves. So then you have one half of the bar and the other half, and if you get it to the first half, you unlock a Falcon Punch. And then if you complete the bar, you get a second Falcon Punch. So then you get like 2 Falcon Punches for the price of 1, basically. And it makes you want to perform better, and it lets you use it more because it's just fun to punch enemies. So
yeah, you should also be able to upgrade it. So like if you use like a Raptor Boost or a Falcon Kick, like you get like 80 or 90% of your heat back. So you can just start comboing those later on, like later in the game once you get all the max upgrades.
Yeah, basically make your heat moves take less heat and give you more back. And then you're making a profit on your heat moves right at the end of the game. So you're just fucking heat moving all over the place. And it gives you that real sense of progression that your character is getting stronger and Captain Falcon is like this just total badass. So I want the combat to be very action heavy. Like, I mean, I don't want it to be based in reality or have any realism at all. I want to punch people into the stars. I want to karate chop people, like punch dudes in the balls, like stuff like just funny, just comedy. It's a kid's game. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be serious. I don't want any cussing or drugs or bullshit like that. I want it to be like some kid picks this shit up because he loves the racing parts of F-Zero, and he gets to play. And he mains him in Smash, and then fucking he gets to play like the coolest guy in Smash. And then you can also buy like outfits and shit, like different color schemes, which would be fucking sweet.
Yeah, it fits with like the whole racing aspect too, because the racing aspect isn't realistic at all. It's just like 30 people get together for this like race where you can just die like right away when somebody rams you into a wall and you're going like 4,000 kilometers per hour across this track.
It's a joke. I mean, it's meant for kids. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be serious. So we have talked about the combat, I think, and then X gives you jumping, so you can also do air combos. So you can slot some moves work in the air, some moves alter themselves in the air, things like that, so that you can combo people in the air, you can slam them down, do all sorts of stuff like that. You have your heat moves. You've got, let's say R1 would be your lock-on button so that you can lock on to enemies so that you can do your forward, forward, back, forward moves. One of the triggers does the God Hand stuff. Oh, you have a taunt, too. So, that's all good. That's really good. Whew. My wife just made tuna salad. Fucking really good. So, you also have a taunt. So I didn't talk about this. You have a dedicated taunt button because I love Captain Falcon in Smash, but it goes, show me your moves, and it's just like, it like frustrates you when someone does that to you. Like, show me your moves, show me your moves, show me your moves. So I wanted that to be in the game. So if you hit the taunt button, enemies that are affected by it, if they're in the area and they're looking at you and they're close enough, and you taunt them, they become more aggressive. So they don't deal any more damage. They don't do more damage, but they become more aggressive. So typically in games like this, think about like Kung Fu movies, how one enemy basically attacks the player at a time. And then as difficulties go upward, more enemies attack you at the same time, so you have to be more aware. So this like skips that. Any enemy affected by your taunt is going to rush you and is going to try and attack you like really hard. Successfully taunting enemies builds a fuck ton of heat. It's a great way to build heat. But it's the downside is they are going to rush you. But another upside is taunted enemies take more damage. So it makes taunted enemies easier to kill on the back end because you have to make sure that you're moving faster and you're thinking better. And I took that from Metal Gear Rising, the Jetstream Sam DLC. He has a taunt, and what it does is it makes enemies super aggressive, but you can insta-kill them if you combo on them enough, which is fucking rad. So I really like that idea, and I think the thing with God Hand was the taunt just made them more aggressive. It didn't make them take more damage. But it built a bunch of your God Hand bar. So I wanted to give you both. I wanted it to give you like a heat boost and make enemies easier to kill as long as you aren't getting hit. Oh, and if you're getting hit, your heat bar drops. So it's high risk, high reward, this whole heat bar thing. Because I'm not going to just give you free Falcon punches.
Is that only when you taunt? I thought like you getting hit outside of combat dropped it too.
Well, you're always going to be in combat. So like if an enemy hits you and they're not taunted, it's still going to lower some of your heat bar.
Okay,
but you can gain it back pretty quickly by just not getting hit and dealing damage. Because I don't want it to be free. It shouldn't be free. If you make a mistake, you should be punished for it. And it helps you build precision in the way that you play. It would help affect, like, okay, I got to make sure I'm not getting hit, which means I need to dodge better and look at because enemies would have, so certain enemy archetypes would be coming in throughout the entire game. You're like, oh, that guy attacks this certain way. So I know kind of what I need to do with him. Oh, shit, but that guy, he's got like a command throw. So if he grabs me with that, he's going to slam me on the ground, and I got to make sure I dodge that and not dodge into the dude that's about to, like, flurry my ass. So it makes you have to memorize your enemies, and it makes you be more precise as you get better in the game. We would start off with probably 2 difficulties, easy and normal, so that if you're like a kid and you just want to play the game, easy mode. Just, it gives you heat bar super quick. Fucking, you can just Falcon Punch motherfuckers all day. All day. Just awesome. So, and then you unlock more difficulties as you beat higher difficulties, and it just gives you more and more content to play. So, we've talked about the combat. That's essentially the combat. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. I don't play a lot of fighting games, but I'd like it.
All right, so there's that. But one of the most important things in Captain Falcon's identity is the racing. And I would never take that away from someone. Like, I would never make a completely action-focused Captain Falcon game. Because as a diehard fan, you'd be like, where the fuck is the high-speed 4,000 mile per hour space car racing? You'd be pissed.
One of the ideas that we were throwing around, and which is why I think we both like it so much, is like this should be like a fully standalone fighting game and like a fully standalone racing game combined into each other.
Yes.
And like the story mode combines both of those to make you play through both of them.
Yes. So here's how it would go, right? Mission 1, Mission 2, you're hunting down a bounty. You fight his guys, then Mission 2, let's just say you fight the guy. This is like basically the first 3 missions are like a tutorial, essentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Mission 2, you fight the actual guy you're after, and then you beat him up, you get a cutscene, and then he runs off. And you're like, what? And then you chase him, and then Mission 3 starts, and it's a race. And you have to chase him through like a busy I know that the maps, the racing tracks in F-Zero are basically just other racers and like boost pads and shit.
Yep.
So in this, since it takes place in like real worlds, not on a racetrack,
like a city or something.
Yeah, it takes place in a city. There are going to be obstacles on the road, and that's going to help you improve your driving as we get further and further in the game to give you an idea of the way that you need to behave when you're racing. Are there still going to be boost pads? Yes. It's a fucking F-Zero game. Of course I'm going to have boost pads. They're going to go super
Does it
fast.
make sense to have boost pads on the highway? No, but it's still going to be in there.
Who gives a shit? But they're going to be in there. But there's also going to be like other cars and shit in the way, and you got to like dodge him, and he's like crashing into cars and causing a havoc, and cars are flying at you, and he sends out like his minions in their own cars, and you got to like crash into them and get rid of them and chase the guy down. And it's like super high octane, and then you race him, you beat him, and then you like capture him, and like it gives you the racing element and the combat element.
Yep.
And those things would happen throughout the game. And one of the reasons I think that we'd end up doing like a hub world in the game Rage, which I don't know if many people have played it, but I bring it up all the time. I don't know, I like it. In the city, you unlock, like they just go, hey, here's this area that you can go where you can just do nothing but races. You can just do car races for hours. And it's just like you get a certain amount of stars for them, and then it unlocks more and more shit for your car and more shit, like more and more races. So you got to have like a certain rank in the races to unlock the next bracket of races, right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those people that likes to 3-star anything that gives me like a 3-star rating, like on mobile games and shit. Like I will sit and 3-star every single level because I'm just like autistic like that. I just can't. Having less than 3 stars like makes my blood boil. So what I thought was you could like in between missions, like you do a mission, you come back, and that gives you like it gives you like a map of the world or whatever. And you can go to the dojo, learn new moves. You can go to the ship garage, which lets you upgrade your ship, put boosters on it, shit like that. Which we're gonna have that. Fucking spoilers. You're gonna be able to upgrade your ship because I think that's fun. I mean, make it faster, make it sturdier, make it pick up more boost from boost pads, kind of to help the way that you play. Are there weapons in F-Zero? I don't think there is.
No.
No, but can't you like? I know in the Game Boy one, you can like do spins and like smash other people, right?
Yeah, there's no items, but you can like side like hit check somebody in your car, and then you can like spin around and then like ram into somebody to do damage to them.
So basically, we would give you all those moves to start. I'm not going to take away anything, but you can increase like your side checks and spins do way more blast back. Like you can send people into the walls easier. You can, you gain speed or something by smashing into somebody. So it makes you like, oh yeah, I like to play aggressive. So I want to smash into people and like gain like a little bit of boost meter, stuff like that. Just fun stuff,
stuff you wouldn't be able to do in a regular race.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the story mode, Captain Falcon's like, cars should be just godly, like max speed, max grip, max control, all that stuff.
Max smashing, max boost, and then you need all of that to win the Grand Prix, which is like the main bad guy is going to enter this Grand Prix, and the only way to get to him is you need to beat all the other races, get to the Grand Prix, and by then your car will hopefully be super upgraded. Because I think that you would want to do that. I mean, you want to do both. Upgrade your character, upgrade your car.
You can not and just challenge yourself to try to do it that way.
But the race is going to be super hard. So, I mean, and then I guess we would have to look at what the player has and balance the race around that. Like if there's someone who's well, that seems...
You're going into like what's that EA game that just came out recently? I mean, BioWare game.
BioWare game?
Yeah, that flop space game.
Anthem.
Yeah, getting into Anthem territory when like your equips don't even matter and you're still doing the same DPS with level 1 equipment.
Fuck that. Nah, that's bullshit. You want all your stuff. Everything that you buy in this game should be worth it. So the two forms of currency that you would have in this game are experience points, which you gain from defeating enemies, and money, which you gain from defeating enemies and capturing the boss of each set of levels. And it just gives you like a fat influx of cash when you capture a bounty, because that's the way bounties work. It's like you get a payout for capturing a bounty. And as you go higher and higher in the game, you get more and more money per bounty so that you can spend that on your character, on costumes, on fun stuff, on items, on maybe different taunts, who knows, and then upgrades for your vehicle. So you have all this stuff coming in so that you can upgrade everything that you need to upgrade. So we would go through the game. You would do races occasionally. With sort of the same, not like the exact same frequency as you would with fighting levels, but maybe one whole fucking like set of missions, like 5 missions, is just races. It's just like, I hope you're ready. We're racing. That's all we're doing for fucking 3 missions. Like, that's the only way you're going to capture this guy, is he hosts his own underground racing circuit. And
like the Grand Prix could just be a set of like 4 races back to back to back, and you have to win every single one to.
Yeah, I would say
basically
win
the game.
8 races in the final 2 missions is like you do 4 races. Then since you're like, did you ever watch the movie Speed Racer?
No, I did not.
That movie is fucking great. So you should watch that. I've seen it like 4 times. So that movie's fucking awesome. So what happens is they do a set of races, and then it takes like a break where like they're kind of like taking time because they got to set up the next set of races, and then they do the last set of races. So in this game, we would do kind of the same thing where we do 4 races, and then like you get attacked by the enemies because he wants to eliminate you outside of the race because he's a cheat.
Because you're winning.
Yeah, because you're kicking hella ass. And then you get like 1 or 2 like little combat missions like in your hotel room and stuff where you just like fight waves of dudes. And then it sounds fucking rad, right? And then you do 4 more races, and then like it ends with you chasing down the final dude one-on-one because you guys like he cheats and stuff. And then it enters a level where he like goes to his base, and you got to climb a tower because climbing towers is fucking cool. And then you fight him on
hordes of enemies are just flying down on you.
Yeah, just tons of enemies. Just like use heat moves. You know, there's going to be an elevator sequence. Everybody hates those, but we're going to do one. And then you climb all the way up to the top of this tower, like. And then you fight this dude on this rooftop as it like blows up around you, and there's like people are like there's like cameras on you and shit, and it looks awesome. And you fight this dude, and he catches your fucking Falcon Punch, and you're just like, no fucking way, this is actually happening. And then you win, and that's the game. So that's the whole game: combat, racing, tons of upgrades. A pretty sweet combat system, I think. I think that plays pretty well if my mind can imagine it well enough. I think it feels pretty good. The racing, it slowly gets more and more intense, and they give you different challenges. Like maybe one is, in a crowded street. One is like in a factory that's blowing up that has like obstacles that you have to like jump over or side dash out of the way. There would be secret routes. I really love shortcuts in racing games where like you can, if you find like a little gap in a racing track, like it takes you a different way. I've always been a big fan of that, so I probably have that too. I really, really like stuff like that, so I would probably have that in there as well. And then say you're someone who just wants to do the combat. We would have an option after you beat the game. I would say after you beat the game, because then you have tons of moves that you can you have unlocked, and you can actually enjoy the combat. You unlock like a Bloody Palace mode where you can just fight differing waves of enemies, and it just sets up and there's like just like a list of challenges you can do, and there's like different difficulties for each challenge, and there's like an endless mode where you just fight like tons and tons of enemies just to like have fun. But so you unlock that mode, but day one on the main menu there is multiplayer racing right off the bat. I mean, if you're someone who wanted an F-Zero game and you don't like action games, like you know, you don't really give a shit about the whole action thing. Like, would you play it? Yeah, most likely. I mean, that's like a huge portion of the game. But what we would do is we would allow you to do like just racing missions where it's just like it sets up like a bracket that you need to beat. You need to do a set of races, and it's like a Grand Prix within itself, where it's like its own contained, like, you got to complete 8 races, complete first, it'll put you higher on the seed, and then you can, you know, just win that. And then you can also play with a friend, and you guys can, like, each pick a ship. I was thinking online multiplayer for that would be really, really fun. You could have, like, isn't there, like, 30 racers?
30 per race, yeah.
Yeah. So could you imagine a 30-player online racing thing, and you have your friend on the couch, so you guys take up 2 slots. Everybody's got friends, like, taking up slots.
Like, that awesome. Right there is just what people have been asking for. They're just like, I just want F-Zero GX online with 30 other people playing it, because it would just be chaos.
Boom. And it would be fun as fuck. Everybody's just smashing into each other. You would pick, like, a playable character. We wouldn't let you do customizable ships, because that's broken. Because some people could have a better advantage on you, but it would just be like there's 30 playable people that you can pick, and you can like double up. If everyone wants to be Captain Falcon, you can be. I'm not going to make it so that each person can only pick one, because then someone's going to steal your favorite character. That's bullshit.
It's
Fuck
bound
that.
to happen with 30 people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to pick Captain Falcon right away because they like the speed and durability of his ship. You know, and then, like, the way that it picks up boost and stuff. So, you know, each ship would have a set of stats of, like, speed, handling, grip, boost percentage that it gains, total speed, and then, like,
weight.
Weight, which means how well it smashes into other enemies. But it would, you know, weight kind of counteracts your speed. It makes you a little bit slower. So that would be day one. You can go story, you can go versus, and you can just click versus, and you can online or couch. If you do couch, you can play up to 4 people. Bam, bam, bam. You can do LAN, which hell yeah, you can do LAN, and that you can play up to 30 people. Up to 30 people. Hell yeah. And then you can set bots on or off if you don't have enough people to fill a race. If you're playing LAN, you can turn the bots off, and it can just be 12 people playing. Or you can have bots on. You can set the difficulty of the bots. You can pick what the bots are playing as and their style. So you could pick, like, oh, this person's going to be aggressive, and they're going to play as, what's a random character in Captain Falcon?
Samurai Goro.
Samurai Goro. So Samurai Goro, I'm going to set his playstyle to aggressive. I'm going to set his difficulty to medium. And then you're just like, boom. And then you got like a setup bot. Oh, you could do AI races. Something I always liked with Dragon Ball Z, like Budokai Tenkaichi, is you could just set 2 bots to fight each other.
Yeah, there's a guy on Twitch who just does like CPU tournaments for 2 hours, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, so I would you can just do an all AI game, which lets you just place bets and see, you know, each one of your friends gets to like set up a few characters and see, and then you guys make like a March Madness fucking
you do like
bracket.
Team racing or something too, like 15
versus 15, and then you gain points on how fast they finish, stuff like that. It would just be, I mean, I never played F-Zero. I never played those, but I love racing games. I've played so many fucking racing games. I played on SNES or whatever when we were in engineering, and it was fun. It was fun as shit. It's fun to race. And so I want to make sure that people get to have that, because that's what people want. People want to race with their friends online and just bash into them and go really, really fast and have like really cool environments. So each track, there would be like, I would say like 20, 30 different tracks. So there's the tracks in the missions that you play, and we would just remove the cars from there. But, you know, we'd keep like the shortcuts and shit, and we'd keep the aesthetic of the level, and then you would race on those levels, and there's like 30 different tracks. You've got reverse tracks, you've got shorter versions of the tracks, things like that, so that you have just tons and tons and tons of variety of tracks that you can play on, because that's like a big thing. If there's not enough tracks, there's like 5 tracks, then you're going to get bored fast, because
you need a lot.
You need a lot of tracks, and then you can randomly select between 5 different tracks. You can set up a custom Grand Prix where it's like each, you know, person can randomly pick or select their own level that they're like, oh, I'm hella good at Rainbow Road, so I'm going to put Rainbow Road on there. That's going to give me a distinct advantage when it comes to our Grand Prix that we're doing. Everyone picks like a level, and then you guys race it out with your own custom Grand Prix. That would be hella fun. Like, could you imagine me, you, and fucking 28 other people? We set up our own bracket Grand Prix, and fucking we do like 8 rounds, and then you get a seed, you get an amount of score depending on how well you finished, and then fucking you just go and go and go, and you see who's like the best racer. That would be fucking sweet.
Yeah, essentially, you just want to include a ton of options so people can play how they want to play, because that's the important part. Like, when you have like a Grand Prix that consists of like 4 tracks, it's the same 4 tracks. So if you go online and everybody gets to like pick 4 tracks, so like you really don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like I get to pick a track, and then they randomly so it's like it randomly selects 8 people to pick a track, and then you're like, oh fuck yeah, I get to pick a track, and you pick a track that you like because you're good at it, and then like everyone else picks a random track that you don't know, but some of those people know, but they don't know the other tracks, and then you see them get lined up in front of you, like, oh shit, here are the 8 tracks that we got. And then you guys all race. And then, like, next time maybe you get to pick a track. Or maybe sometimes you go a few games and you don't pick a track. Or someone can, like, oh, I don't want to pick a track. And they can pass their track pick to someone else. Because, like, it's like being the drop leader in Apex, Sometimes you don't want to be the guy. So, it just gives you tons and tons of options for the way that you want to play. And I would, like, the most important thing in a video game is gameplay. The Metal Gear Solid 5 one, we go a little bit further than that because you expect something from... Let's not talk about it. But, like, I mean, if you could come in and all you ever wanted from an F-Zero game or a Captain Falcon game or whatever is just tons and tons of racing, we got it. We got you handled. But if you want, like, a super fun, funny game to play along with racing, like, racing, for me... If there's not like Burnout has Burnout is one of my favorite racing games of all time. It's an arcade racer. Split Second is also super fucking good. Whatever. Like really good arcade racing games. I don't like Forza. I don't like
when it's just raw racing and really nothing else.
I don't like realistic racing, but I like Burnout because it has all these different like events that you can do. You can do like the crash events, you can do takedown, you can do pure race, you can do like supercars races, which is really cool, and it just gives you tons of content. But like if it's just nothing but racing, I would get bored. So you have this full like I don't know, like it would be like an 8 or 10 hour game. It wouldn't be a long game. It's an action game. It doesn't take long to beat it. You just play it. It's fast. It's fun. You play it over and over and over again, and we give you the ability to play it at different difficulties. We give you tons of content in it so that you can like, oh, I'm going to do an only kick run where you just all your moves are kicks, and you just do that, So we have one half of the game is a true just like a true action game with racing elements inside the game so that we're still giving you the racing. Even if you're playing the main game, there's still tons of racing in it. And then you have the second half of the game, which is just pure racing for anybody who just wants that.
Yes. So I just want to clarify. So it sounds to me when you're describing like the main menu, you said there's going to be like the story tab like on the left, and there's going to be like the multiplayer part on the right where you race. Yep. Would you have to play through the story to unlock like just the combat portion and then just the racing portion?
No. So you would only have to play through the game to unlock the like Bloody Palace mode. And then if it comes back and people are like, I just want to do the combat or whatever, we'd probably just come out with that as like a unlock just right away. Just if people were unhappy about it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Give it to them. I mean,
because the way I pictured it would be like a minimalist menu. Like on the left, there's like combat or like Bloody Palace if you just want to just jump straight into the combat. In the middle, there's story mode. And like on the right, there's like Grand Prix mode or racing.
Yeah.
Time trials and all that. And on the bottom, it could be like multiplayer.
Yeah.
So like if I just wanted to right off the bat, I could just be like, I just want to race.
Go right into multiplayer, day one, 30 people, ready to go.
Okay.
Dude, the servers would be lit. People would be on multiplayer first. Dude, a lot of the times I play multiplayer first. I do the story later. Like if there's a multiplayer game, I just jump right into multiplayer and just fucking go for it. I played Titanfall 2
straight into multiplayer.
right into multiplayer and then I started the story later. I was like, oh, I hear this is actually like really good. I'll play it. Because I was like, I don't like first person shooter stories. They're usually pretty lame. But Titanfall 2 story was fucking lit. So I played it way later. But it's like, yeah, if you want a day one, you put the game in, you press go, you can go right into couch racing, or you can go right into online multiplayer. Second one, so that you're playing with all the like 1 million other people that have been so stoked for this. They're playing racing too. They don't give a fuck about the story. Like if you've been waiting this long, you'd be on fucking 30-player multiplayer second one. Fuck no, I wouldn't make you unlock that. That's like the most important thing is the racing. The story is basically an excuse for us to sell a $60 fucking racing game.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, the story is fun and it's great, and we put heart and we put thought into it, and it's fun to play. But, you know, nobody knew that was what it was going to be. They expected a racing game. I would never make someone play through the thing they don't want to do to unlock the thing they do want.
Okay, that's what I figured. And then this is another thing I was thinking of was, like, you know, say I don't like the combat, I should be able to play Grand Prix mode and unlock everything for combat mode just by playing really well in Grand Prix mode, and vice versa. So if I'm really good at combat, I should be able to like get a ton of money or experience and be able to buy all the extra tracks and all the extra characters for Grand Prix mode.
Hell yeah, sure, why not? If you do like the Bloody Palace mode, or you beat story and you've got a ton of money left, you just spend it on all the extra characters and shit for multiplayer. Yeah, or you just like really good. You can use, it would be like if you score really well in the races, you get like, say like, you know, you'd get like plus 15 for placing first, you know? Those points could be used to unlock characters, basically. So the better you perform, the more points you have to unlock content within the racing mode. So the more you play the racing mode, the more you unlock for the racing mode. But I wouldn't lock anything away. I was honestly thinking that all the characters, all the tracks would be available fucking day one.
Right off the bat?
Yeah. It's like, could you unlock like alternate skins or alternate ships and stuff? I mean, I don't know. Because it's like, what if you go in and all you want to do is race, and I want to play as Samurai Goro or Gorzo or whatever, fucking second one, and he's not unlocked. And then you have to like play a bunch of and then if you think about it, day one, everyone would be Captain Falcon in the race, in the first race that everybody gets in. That'd be fucking boring. You should be able to fucking have every character, just pick them. Just pick them. Who gives a shit? It's just supposed to be fun. Like, you're in it to race. You're in it to have a good time with your friends, and you're in it to race on the tracks that we built. I wouldn't hold stuff away and make you unlock them, because then everyone's Captain Falcon on day one. I want to be Samurai Goro day one, so I should be able to have him. And then everybody gets to pick their favorite character day one, and then there's just then there is the variety of there's 30 different characters on the first day, and you don't know how good those other ships are because you haven't looked. You just picked Captain Falcon right away because he's your favorite, and you jumped into a race, and you're getting slammed around by all these characters that have like semi-faster ships, or they're, you know, they bump harder than you do.
Or this guy's being a huge bully. I want to play as that guy real quick.
Yeah, I want to play as that guy. And you like the next race, you pick a new character, and you do it that way. So okay, here's a question to you. If you enter, so it would be like a lobby, right? You enter you can do a quick race, which is just like you just do one race. You pick a character, you do one like 3-lap trek through a track, and then that's over, and you can go do a new one. Or you can enter a lobby, which is a Grand Prix lobby, which is a set of 8 races, and you get a higher seed based on how well you perform. Now, in between races, are you allowed to pick a new racer? What do you think?
Only for Grand Prix, actually in the opposite. For Grand Prix, you would be locked to the one character.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. So
quick race, like there's no score or anything. There's no seed or elo or whatever the hell you call it. It's just for fun, I just want to try out this character online, see how well he does without having to worry about my rank or just mess around.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. And then you can just pick a new racer every single time, and you can that's a lobby too. You would stay in that lobby and you just stay with those people, and then you can just pick a different character each time, and everybody's just like switching characters and having a good time, and trash talking and stuff. Like, oh, I kicked your butt. I kicked your butt in that race, loser. Traditional Xbox 360 lobbies, dude. Hell yeah.
Call of Duty lobbies.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hella trash talk. Like, against, 12-year-old kids. Because it's a fucking kids game. It's brutal, dude. Brutal. Those kids are going to grow up.
And then the Grand Prix Elo lobbies still have voice chat. And it's another meta Samurai Goro character.
Oh, it's bullshit. Stop playing the meta character, you fucking dick.
You only play him because he's the only one you're good with. You can't play any other character.
You can't play any other characters, dude. His ship's so strong and fast, it's bullshit.
They need to nerf it.
Fucking nerf Samurai Goro. I'm gonna go on the forums right now. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? It's like, give people the racing, all of it, day one. Now, one of the things with modern day games is we can come out with more racers, we can come out with more cars, more tracks, anytime. Anytime.
Yeah. I mean, this is $1 billion game, so I would expect it to be supported for a long time.
Hell yeah, servers for years, dude. Years. How many has it been? How many years has it been since GX came out?
I don't know. 10 years. I don't want to look it up.
So servers would be up for at least 10 years until the next one comes out. I mean, people would play it, dude. People would play it. People would play it a lot because people still play GX, people still play the old ones, and it's just because racing is pure and simple and fun. These games are still getting made. These racing games, Wipeout still gets made like every 3 or 4 years. Burnout doesn't exist because the company that makes it doesn't exist anymore. But
sad,
big sad. That's the big sad on that one. But it would just be a game for you to play all the time. And then it's like, oh, shit, I've been playing the multiplayer for 3 weeks. I should try this fucking story mode out. And then you have the best time ever. And you just...
Wow, this story mode's really good.
Oh my god, there's tons of difficulties. And
this combat's pretty fun. I should try out this other mode.
Oh, and then I unlocked a mode since I just beat the game of nothing but the combat. Oh, cool. And then you just do that. And then you The setup for what we have is if you want to play a round of combat before you go to work, you can. If you want to do one quick race or 2 quick races before you go to work, go for it because the races are quick. I mean, they're not slow. I mean, you're going 4,000 miles an hour. And then if you want to spend 30 minutes and do a real online Grand Prix with a bunch of strangers and talk a bunch of shit and have a great time and really invest some time, you can do that. And we would let you customize your vehicles because you don't really see. You would definitely have the heads. The heads would pop up and stuff to show the ladder because that's just fun. But we would let you put stickers and decals on your actual vehicles per. So each character has their own vehicle that they use. So if you main Samurai Goro, you can start adding stickers and your own decals on it if you want to. So that when someone sees you on the racetrack, they know, oh shit, this is a Samurai Goro main. He's got tons of stickers all over this stuff, And you unlock those stickers or you unlock those decals as you play the character and then as you rank up and stuff. So, if you're a rank 100 and you're rank 90 with Samurai Goro, you have tons and tons of stuff for that particular character and tons of stuff for all your characters because you've ranked up that many times. And that just gives you the Call of Duty style incentive to play online where, you go up 10 levels with a character and then it resets down to 0. And then when you're on Prestige 1, Level 1, you unlock a new paint and then you can go up all the way to 100. And then, that's 1,000 levels for that one character. But you just have stickers and paints and decals and alternate costumes and taunts that you can use in the actual race. Like you can press a button and he goes, "I'm winning," and it just like shows the dude's face, and you're like, talking trash during the race with a character because you've unlocked like the ability to taunt with that character because you've spent so much time with him. I mean, it would just be the most.
It's all
pure...
mad EP and stuff.
Yeah, all mad EP content, dude. And you can just slap people with it. Blah, blah. And you can just taunt people in races and crash into them and make them blow up and knock them off the track. And you can go, I killed you. I killed you. I killed you. Just over and over again. Just fucking awesome.
It's global, so everyone hears that.
Everybody hears it, dude. Everybody here. I killed you. And it's just like a cacophony of just fucking, I killed you. And it would just be great. It would just be solid content, dude. Just 100% nothing but pure, unadulterated fun. I'd buy it. I'd probably buy a fucking Switch for that.
I'd buy it.
Hey, dude. Boom. Let's get this picked up by some sort of, I don't know. Let's make Nintendo see this shit.
Some billion-dollar company that can fund it.
Invest, baby. I'll make it. Give me some control. I've never made a video game before, but if you listen to this is technically like, if someone steals this idea now, I have proof.
Oh, they could.
Well, I know, they could, but I have fucking proof that I uploaded it at a certain time. And if somebody steals it, then I can be like, hey, that's my idea.
I mean, like, half of me would care that somebody stole it, but the other half of me would be like,
so sick that it's happening.
At least somebody's making the game.
Just give me a shout out in the game, dude. Just be like, fucking Level Die Podcast, cheers. Give me a custom character. Just make me a racer. That'd be like an unlockable racer, please. That's all I want. Let me just, I killed you. Like, let that be my taunt. Just let me be in the game, okay? I'll wear a goofy outfit. You can give me like a really mediocre
the worst car in the game.
Yeah, the worst car in the game. So it's like a super challenge to play as me. I killed you. Just over and over. Like you unlock that taunt right when you purchase the character, so you can just spam it because it's just funny. Yeah, man. Hey, Nintendo, what up? # not sponsored. Yeah, that's the game. That is the game, Mike. Do you have any questions? Is there anything else I need to cover? Did it feel like that's a pretty complete game?
The last part and like the last thing I could think of is I thought there was going to be like at least like 8 different characters you get to play as in the fighting portion that you can unlock.
Oh, okay.
And they could just be typical F-Zero characters, and they all have their own special moves that Nintendo or some billion-dollar company can think of, since they made moves for Captain Falcon for Smash, so it wouldn't be that hard.
So, just sort of like, would that be in the story? Like, would you do the story mode with those characters? And it just wouldn't make any sense, like Samurai Goro is chasing after
once you beat the
Samurai
game,
Goro.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then you can unlock like just fun.
Yeah, I think it should be something like you play like there'd be 10, 15 combat missions, and like each combat mission you quote unquote 3-star, you unlock like the characters. So if you like 3-star the Samurai Goro boss fight, you unlock them
to play as. That'd be fucking cool. How about you? Yeah, and then you have to you can start a new Samurai Goro game and you run through the entire story as Samurai Goro. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's not like they wouldn't replace him in the cutscenes, but you just start as him.
Yeah, you just do the combat as him, and then the cutscene just switches to Captain Falcon, and then it continues on, and you get to play. And they have their own special heat moves. Like one of them could be based around wrestling, so he does all his heat moves are grabs, tackles, and slams.
Pile drivers or something.
Grabs you, jumps you up, slams you on the ground, stuff like that. He has air.
Yeah, he picks you up, he Bane backbreakers you, then you just fly out into space.
His Falcon Punch would just be like a DDT.
Tornado DDT.
Yeah, dude, or a super sick suplex or something. Fuck yeah, dude. Just suplexes you into the earth and you just disappear. You just explode. Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. I didn't even think about that. That's just more content, just more. Or it would be you 3-star or whatever that you beat it on all the difficulties, or you get basically in Devil May Cry it's you S rank it. That's the highest rank you can get. When you S rank that mission, it gives you the ability to buy that character with your in-game money. So then you have to So then it gives you more incentive. So then it's like 10 million. Like it's an exorbitant amount of money. So then you have to beat the story mode, maybe beat it twice, and then you go into like Bloody Palace or whatever, and you just rack up money that way, and then you unlock it, and then you can go, oh hey, because we want it to be that you finish the story completely one time before you're able to start fucking around. Because if you jump in and start a new game as Samurai Goro halfway through your first run through, it's weird. But if you beat the game one time, you know exactly what happens, and then you can just goof off. And it's like you have like this like 10 unlockable characters that'll cost $10 million each. And if you unlock one, you know, you can play around with that character until you unlock the next one. And then you unlock the next one. And you just keep doing that, all different difficulties, through Bloody Palace, through fucking all this shit. They all have their own heat moves. They all have their own Falcon Punch type move, like like the wrestling suplex move, or someone's got like a red hot kick that just fucking explodes people or something. You know, like an eye poke, like a ball kick that just launches them into the sky. You know, stuff like that. There's all.
Or it can just be like instead of having to like 3-star the combat mission, you can just go into like time attacks, maybe be like every 4 developer time attack.
Ooh, God.
Races you beat, you unlock a character too.
Yeah. See? I mean, you want to make sure that you're unlocking content anyway. Like, like you said, like I'm really good at the racing, but I'm not really good at the story. So then you unlock a character in the racing mode, and it's like, hey, once you beat the main game, you can play as this character, and you can do the Bloody Palace with him, or you can play a story as him for fun, and you can upgrade him, and you can put moves on him, and you can do all this crazy stuff. Like we made the game fucking huge. Like play it for 1 million hours. Because I love games that they're straightforward, but on the back end, there's tons of content. Like if the game is a full game and you beat it and you're satisfied, great. But then if there's like more difficulties or unlockable content or side things that you can do that give you more content and doesn't take away from the main story, that's good reviews right there.
Money.
I mean, that's just money, you know. And if somebody can spend, I mean, the thing with multiplayer games is you can spend infinite amount of hours. But with single player games, I feel like there's like a certain amount of time that you can spend on it before you get bored. That's why I think that multiplayer elements are really good to have in a game if it fits. Don't just shove multiplayer into video games. It doesn't work most of the time. But you know, most of the time. You know, if you do like the single player game, but it's got like tons of difficulties, tons of unlockable content, a mode where you can just play combat and not do the story, people will spend 80 hours on just the single player content and then 200 plus hours on the multiplayer. And then they really feel like, okay, well, I spent $60 on this game and I put 500 hours into it. This was worth every penny. I mean, and then it creates those memories. Like if you're a kid and your mom buys you the fucking Captain Falcon Switch combo, and that's like your first Switch game ever, and it comes with like a custom fucking Captain Falcon Switch with like sick Joy-Cons, and
Falcon Joy-Cons.
Yeah, and everybody on the neighborhood is fucking jealous of you, and that's like your first game. Maybe you like the combat and you're not good at it, but as you grow up, you're like, dude, that game was fucking sweet, and you play it over and over and over again. Like, any game that you and I have played multiple times. Like I've played Dark Sector like 6 times because I just like it. And I mean, you've played Final Fantasy X like too many fucking times.
Too many.
So it just, all of this gives you this package of something that's worth people's money. I wouldn't make a game to make money. I would make a game to fucking make people have a good time and enjoy spending their time doing something that they love. I like playing video games. I would buy this video game. I would play the fuck out of this video game. And that's why I keep thinking about it every fucking 2 weeks. I'm just stoked on it. And now it's all written, it's all talked down. So now fucking I don't ever have to think about it again.
It exists.
It now exists. So fucking, I'm going to tag this episode #Nintendo, #Captain Falcon, and we're going to see if I find somebody.
Sponsor me.
#make it, baby. Thing is that we cussed a lot during this. This is not a child-friendly podcast, but
the game will be.
Hey, the game will be E10, cartoon violence. That's it. So that's it. That's all I have to say. You got anything else?
I think we covered it.
Cool. Hey, it's a short episode. Cool. I'm going to go hang out with my wife. Thanks for being on, Mike. Thanks for listening.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad you'd play it. I wish and I hope someday that this game gets made.
Yeah.
What would you out of 30, one for every racer on the track? What would you rate this game before it even comes out? Like, what do you think it would be? What's the idea?
You cut out 1 out of what? 30?
1 out of 30 for every racer on the track. What do you think that this game could potentially be?
Could potentially be. Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like saying like
30 plus.
Okay, fuck off. It's like from what I've said, what would you rate this game?
Let's say like 29, 28.
Dude, that's the Nintendo bonus too. Hey, what up? That's fucking that's fucking
Nintendo Babby bonus.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, cool. I rated a fucking 35 out of 30 because I made it up.
Oh. Oh, you told me I couldn't rate it 30.
You can't rate. You have to rate it like a normal person. I made the game, so I can. Okay. I'm gonna pay for people to review it because we're living in that kind of world. All right, that's it. This is coming out soon, so I'm excited. All right.